Well, we ready for Faust?
Indeed.
Okay. So with a name like Faust, it's obviously a German film.
It's true. The actual Faust was a Germanic Renaissance alchemist slash con man. He wasn't looked upon favorably in his community.
It comes across in the movie.
But the funny thing is, he died in the 16th century. And by the end of the 16th century, Marlowe in England wrote the first written version of Faust. So it's a Germanic character, probably best known by being written by an English guy. However, a German rewrote it in the early 18th or early 1800s. And that's what especially Germanic audiences are looking for. They're not looking for Marlowe's British interpretation. They want to see the German one. So,
Yeah, the Brits had some rough times. They got some dark stuff that goes on. Even Dickens has a whole book of ghost stories that people compiled.
for
So
sure.
did appreciate that it turned into a comedy by the end. Lucifer and that old lady are just freaking hilarious running around like that. It made me chuckle.
Now, this is an odd piece for me because Lucifer and Mephisto originally were two different people, but they're both played by Emil Jennings. He was a Swiss actor. So in the movie, they seem to be all in one, or it's really hard for me to tell. And he's listed as Mephisto.
Yes,
At no
yeah,
point in time do they call him Satan or anything else, really.
but he played it well. He was almost that Dudley Do Right, dastardly.
Yeah.
Yes, he looked like that quite often. It was very funny. Like it said, it's funny in parts. Maybe now, maybe back then, they thought every bit of it was scary and intense.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It was directed by F.W. Murnau, who did
Which,
Nosferatu.
yeah, we've talked about him at multiple things for that. I
Uh,
can see why this movie, and he is a acclaimed director by lots of Hollywood directors. Oh yeah, I watch him now, and that set me on the road type thing. I can see that in
yeah.
this movie a lot.
He did a total of 21 pieces, including Tartuffe, which is another piece of classical literature from the 15th century. He did that just before this one. I can't remember the name of the movie he did right before he did Faust, but that's what earned him enough credit to get Faust made. It was the most expensive film made in German history at that time.
Wow.
It cost 2 million marks to get it done. And then the next year, Fritz Lang did Metropolis, which blew it out of the water as far as
Another big name,
cost.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see for the time period the Satan and Mephisto and the angel and everything looked fantastic.
Mhm.
And they really came out. They looked huge. They
Yep.
looked very kaiju like.
Oh, where you've got Satan over the city, like his wing making this shadow over the whole city. It was a terrifying concept.
Yeah, but the story is so common in our culture. I've seen it in every TV show that lasted more than 2 years. They have an episode like that. Even Stargate had the episode of tempting
The
everything you ever
Faustian
wanted in
bargain.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the last film he made in Germany. After that, after he did Faust, he moved to the States. And he died in 31. He wasn't that old. He died from a car accident.
Wow. And then nobody filmed it? Sorry, bad, really dark joke there.
Fritz Lang actually did the eulogy at his funeral,
Oh, wow.
and then interestingly enough, his it's not funny. His tomb was broken into, and his skull is missing now. And there was evidence of wax in a
Oh,
circle around, like somebody had performed some sort of ceremony using the skull of F.W. Murnau, and then took the skull with them, and who knows where
like,
it's at.
why has that not been a story or a movie? We're laughing. It's very dark, mortuary humor, but again, it's not somebody that was just recent. This is 100 years ago.
Right.
Doesn't make it any better, but a little. But why has that not been a story? We've got Algernon, what's his face, and some of these guys that we have so many stories about them that that just okay. I guess we need to write a story. That'll be the horror lasagna story We'll make a student film.
Except we're not students.
No, but we'll give the students the rights and money to
There you
make
go.
the film. Yeah.
Yeah. it took him 6 months to shoot, and it cost so much, and one of the reasons it cost so much is that he shot everything with 2 cameras. And I don't mean he did a 2 camera shoot. He just rolled 2 cameras constantly so that he would have choices to go through and pick from for angles and things like that, which was not really typically people would script all that out. We're gonna
Right.
cut from this angle to a face on and then this, but he just was like, just roll them the whole time. And this isn't digital, this is actual celluloid. So,
Somebody was spinning that by hand at that
yep,
time.
yep.
Yeah. It's like, the shadow of the vampire when they're showing that and he's constantly filming everything because he wasn't sure. I know understand that's a made up about what happened, but
But it's and, like, that snow scene, that was all salt.
wow. I hope they had some pretzels ready.
Camilla Horn, like, the she played Gretchen, like, she had rashes from all the salt.
Mhm.
That snow scene took an entire day's worth of shooting.
Oh, jeez.
She had marks on her hands from being bound all the time and stuff like that through this movie. It was not a pleasant experience for her,
Wow.
and she wasn't even his first pick. For Gretchen, he wanted Lillian Gish, who we talked about when we did The Wind. Oh, which yeah, when we did The Wind,
Yeah.
because she was in the original. She starred in the original, but Lillian Gish wouldn't come along unless she could bring her favorite cinematographer, and Murnau was not having that, so he did not hire her. So while he was shooting Tartuffe, Lil Dagover is in that, who was in the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari,
O
and there's, like, this sexy scene with her leg that was too immodest for her, so Camilla Horn was her stand-in for her leg, and that's how she got this job for Faust,
oh,
because he
man.
had directed them both, and I was
Wow.
just like, "Wow, that's crazy." And the script even, like, they shot the entire thing, then the studio looked at it and didn't like it. It wasn't close enough to Goethe's original writing, so they had someone else rewrite the entire script. Then they looked at it and said, "Nah, we like the first one better." So,
Wo
yeah, it cost 2,000,000 marks, but they were just throwing money everywhere with this project.
wow. It shows. I can see why it's a top named movie of the past and people remember it, and but it's crazy. Again, where's our more I think there was a more recent version of this filmed within
Oh,
the
there's about
last
6 or 7 of them throughout history.
y
It's a notorious comic, I think it's by Rebel, called Faust's Love Story of the Damned or something like that. It's certainly a mature rated, X-rated comic book. Somebody actually did a remake of that, I think in the '90s. They, like, and yes, Faust, like, the name Faust is on there, and there is a Faustian bargain, but that's where
yeah,
the line stops.
so I was really wondering where the fiddle was when they were doing their contest to figure it out. But I must say, the whole crossroads thing that comes up in our culture and so much. Supernatural had that all the time,
Sure.
several other shows. But it really, I think this portrays the angels like dicks as much as Satan and Mephisto
They're
because they're toying with the people in the world. Oh, go ahead. You prove to us, torture them all you want, and we'll show you how wrong you are.
yeah, we're gonna bet for the souls of all of humanity that this
Yeah.
one guy's not gonna crumble. I would
Yeah.
not take that bet.
And then they welch on it anyways. Oh, they said love. Oh, we ban it
Yeah,
all.
we
We got
win.
you. The world's dying from the plague and they're like fighting with each other. But hey, we won. And in a way, they talk about physics, how our physics of our world is different when you get down the quantum level. Physics acts different, but they're noticing it also acts different when you go big, like
Macro.
between galaxies and stuff. So this is like that. The dealings, the life of these gods, these beings is totally different than what we get on Earth. So honestly, we're not that big a deal to them. Whatever. There's more of
Yeah.
that where those came from.
Another name, John Barrymore, was supposed to
Yeah.
be Faust originally,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
instead it was played by Gösta Ekman, who was a Swedish actor at the time. And he changed his name because originally his last name sounded too Jewish to be going into Germany to film a, so he changed his
Oh,
last name too. something far more acceptable, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That kinda makes sense for that time period. I could
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Alright, there's Faust. That's a good one. If you like the old black and whites, the old public domain stuff that we've been doing, it's a
Oh,
good one.
sure. And
And
some
I'm
of the special effects, when you look at
Oh,
this, you're
yeah.
like, "This is 1926." It's insane what he was able to do.
Yeah, and the flying with the clouds and stuff. Yeah, the layers of the filming in places.
Murnau had been a World War One pilot, and so he was really trying to capture that feeling of being those were the open canopied planes, right?
Right.
He was trying to capture that feeling as he did those scenes, and I think he did a great job because
Yeah,
they even have this kind of edge of vertigo to it where you get a little dizzy just watching it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, before we sign off, I found the Golem. There
Uh-huh.
was a modern remake, not a direct remake, but based on the same type of concept from 2019. I was going to check that out, see what it looked like compared to what that original one was. Or
Yeah,
that was actually the third one in the series, but like the only one totally
that
survived.
survived. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to check that out. I was like, oh, cool, a remake. Because we were saying, why didn't anyone remake this? See
Yeah.
what it is.
What do we got coming up next on the
We
side
have
dish?
coming up next, and I actually looked it up this time. We have the 1910 Frankenstein, and
Ooh,
not even the first Frankenstein. There, Edison did a Frankenstein before that, but none of the wax cylinders have survived and it hasn't been transferred that anybody knows of. So
yeah. Edison had done
1910.
Faust too
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
before
yeah.
this one.
He did quite a few things that I don't think are as publicly known, but
He bought a lot of things as opposed to it's not like he was out there making movies.
no, no, yeah, he helped them come about, let's say it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Frankenstein's next, and we've got some good ones still coming up. I'm going to start adding to the list as we get through this here. Find some other
Awesome.
new ones. All right, there's Faust.
Cool.
Catch you later, man.
See ya.
Oh, and for everyone listening, we do have the Sinister Horror Fest coming up, which I'll talk a bit more about. But then we're going to have our Horrorthon coming up. We have those picked out this year. So it looks like an
That's
interesting
right.
year again. So
Yeah.
there's our little plug for people to hang on,
There you go.
subscribe and like. All right, man. Later.
See ya.